The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey guys, Cotton Grammar here with an office hours assimilation, a very special event live from Las Vegas, and we have a plethora of superstars of SEO for you here today, and we are going to go through them here in a second. Just guys, if you can hear me good, give me a 1 in the chat box so I know that everything is working right, and so I can see that. Great. And what we'll do is let me go ahead and share my screen. And guys, give me a 2 if you can see the screen. It should be the OMG Facebook page up. Go ahead and give me a 2 that you can see that. Great, we're good to go. All right, guys, this is a very, very special event. Mike Long and I are here live in Las Vegas right now. We're speaking at a couple events. Mike actually got thrown off. He had to speak at an event in 25 minutes. He's going to try to jump on a little bit later, but we have an amazing cast of people on right now, and we're excited to hear from them. What we're going to do is questions and answers for about an hour, and then we have something from Derek, Jimmy, and Sue that I literally believe is going to blow your minds. And I'd like to know that if you've attended any of the office hours assimilations before, we've always had some pretty amazing stuff to show you. I think this is going to absolutely top all of them. I'm very, very, very excited to show this to you. We've got my special guest who's going to co-host this whole thing with me, my partner in crime, Fletch. What's going on, buddy?
Cotton, how you doing, dude? I'm excited about this. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely, man. You know what? I think everyone that's in Director's Cut misses you. You normally get to handle all the newbies when they come in, and these are kind of like the people that are really familiar with you, that's got a chance to know what an amazing person you are from OMG Live and stuff. So it's a great chance for them to get to hear you, see you again, get some more of your knowledge, answering some questions and stuff. So we're really excited to have you on here today.
I'm excited for it. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this, yeah.
Great. We also got the resident SEO that's always on office hours assimilation, Derek Awasiak. What's going on, Derek?
Hey, not a whole lot, but glad to be here.
And we have what I might call the Dr. Doom of SEO, who's just a mad scientist, always testing. Jimmy Kelly is on the line with us. What's up, Jimmy?
Not much. How you doing, Cotton?
Not much. Man, I'm excited to have you on today, especially with some of the stuff you got going, man. You guys got some amazing stuff lined up, don't you?
Oh, we're hoping so. I hope people like it.
Like it. I think you're going to blow some minds, man. And what I call, and I hope it's okay with her, we have the queen of SEO on with us as well, Sue Bell. How you doing, Sue?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Cotton.
Is that okay to call you the queen of SEO, Sue?
I prefer dominatrix.
Dominatrix of SEO is even better. How about the queen and dominatrix of SEO? So
there you go.
We can just throw them on there. And we have my good buddy Joe Markfolio on here. Joe, what's up, buddy? Are you there,
Hey,
Joe?
how's it going, Cotton? Good to be here.
Hey, what's going on? Hey guys, what this
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good. What this is this is a preview. I kind of twisted David and Mike's arm to open this webinar up to all of OMG, and I wanted you guys to get a good chance to experience just how amazing Director's Cut is and why it is a must to have in your arsenal for SEO in 2015. And one of the biggest things about Director's Cut that has really blown me away is some of the content that Joe has put into there. And Joe, if you could do me a favor and just take a few moments and just share with some of the modules that you have in OMG and what you got cooking in your kitchen for coming up, because you and I have talked and you got a lot of amazing things planned and lined up for Director's Cut. And I was wondering if you could spend a few moments trying to share that with us. And while Joe's doing that, guys, please put your questions in the box and we'll get to it as soon as we hear from Joe. Are you there, Joe? I guess.
Oh, I had to change the microphone around. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Are you able to hear my question?
Yeah. So I mean, in Director's Cut right now, man. So I have a lot of stuff on ClickBank, on affiliate. How to find a good affiliate product, how to rank. How to make a YouTube video for that affiliate product, and how to rank it. I also have some stuff on local. We just finished a really, well, we haven't even finished it yet. We just did the first part of a really big over-the-shoulder series. And that's going to be awesome because it's going to be good for people who are new and people who have some experience. And we're walking through every single step on how to set up a website, when you get a client, how to set up all their citations, all their social sites, because we have a lot of the training already in there, and there's a lot of overview stuff, but what's nice about the over the shoulders, it shows everybody like step by step, and it shows how all the pieces fit. So I'm real excited about that.
Yeah, I know that when I talked to you last week, how many videos are you up to in that series?
I got 20.
Wow. And
that's just mine. Greg's doing some, Fletcher's doing some. Like there's a lot of. It's going to be really big.
Yeah, it's like pretty exciting. I know when I was talking to you last week, all the work that you're putting into it, for everyone to be able to see how to start a site from the very beginning all the way through, just all those little bit of ink, all these little small questions that you don't get answered. You guys are going to cover all of those and let any beginner see how to walk through it from the very beginning. And you know what? It's updated from what it was a couple years ago. So that's like really exciting also. But, hey, Jimmy, if you were on, or either you or Sue can add this, what do you guys have in Director's Cut right now? Just to let people know that, like, aren't in Director's Cut, that is kind of just on right now from the free webinar. What do they have right now in Director's Cut from you, and what can they expect to see over the next few months? Because I know that you guys already have some mind-blowing stuff in there right now that people just rave on and on and on about.
Do you want to take this one, Sue?
Sure. So we actually walk people through a selection of things that they can use to get their sites ranked. We start with some pretty simple ideas like the one feed and 5 iframe punch that are just some more organic things that they can do. And then we walk them from that up into some pretty advanced DAS concepts. So it's quite a range, and people can pick how comfortable they are with all of the different stuff that's in there. Is there anything that I've forgotten there, Jimmy? I know we've got those 3. Was there a 4th module?
I can't remember. I know we put them in there, but I just can't remember.
You also went through there's also some DAS stuff in there, Jimmy. You went through some DAS training in a little bit more detail that's in there. And and I know that you guys continue to have week after week. You guys also have your weekly webinars to where people are able to ask questions. And one of the most powerful things about it, what I think is Jimmy, I know that you don't do it as much as you did, but you're like common going consulting fee for 1 hour is roughly $1,000 and over. And I know Sue is well beyond that. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so for them to get you for 1 hour a week, you, Russell, and like Sue, is absolutely amazing that they can have access to you guys for an hour and a half a week to ask their questions and answers. And people have just been raving about it in the Facebook threads and everywhere else, just how powerful and impactful that is. And just to give you guys a little bit of information about what I have in there, I've put in really the foundation of what I think client SEO is, which is exactly what the discovery form is. Mike and I shot some modules. Also have some things in there about IFTTT, some other stuff. But the biggest bombs that I have let delay is modules that I'm going to be doing over the next few months. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on online reputation management, which is what's going to take you. I'm doing $75,000 a month on that, walking you through that from the very beginning, how to get a client, how to pull the leads, how to service it all the way through from the very back end. And I think that's going to be amazing. That's probably going to get up to 20 videos. Then we're also going to be adding more miscellaneous modules about different things about client SEO. That questions that keep coming up is how to fire a client, how to use Basecamp efficiently, and other stuff. So you're able to handle clients very efficiently for any of the client getting questions. So Director's Cut and Project Breakthrough have turned into be just a monstrous sort of thing. And in case you guys are confused about how everything's going, I told David that I would try to do it the best way to explain it. There are those people that signed up for NHB, and then there is Project X and then Project J. So basically what it is Project Breakthrough is kind of X and J plus director's cut equals breakthrough. And I know that might be a little confusing, but if you kind of pay attention to it. So if you've got Project X and Project J, director's cut is the upgrade, which includes everything and the webinars that you've been seeing, the office assimilation webinars, Jimmy's and Susan and Russell's webinars, Joe's webinars, and also we're going to be adding Travis Sago as well. Also, Greg's put some stuff in there, and for what I know, even Fletch might have some stuff cooking in there. I'm not sure, but that's what's all included in that. So if you had J or X, all it is if you upgrade to director's cut, that equals that now you have Project Breakthrough, because that's all Project Breakthrough is adding director's cut to NHB, Project X, or Project J. So I hope that makes sense to everyone. That's about as easy as I can explain it to you. So what we'll do is right now just kind of jump into some of the questions. It's what we do for around the first hour, and then we're going to hand it over to Derek, Jimmy, and Sue, and just let them mind blow you with some of the stuff. Literally, I've heard about what they're going to do, and I literally believe that you guys are literally going to have your jaws on the floor. But guys, we're just going to kind of do a round robin kind of a thing. Some of the questions, you can either direct them towards Fletch. I like to know that a lot of you haven't had access to pick his mind. Joe or Jimmy or someone, you can address the questions directly to them, and I'll go ahead and read it out to them. Or it could be a general question for anyone, and we'll try to get to them. So let me try to pull up some questions right now, and then we'll go from there. Just give me a second to get rid of all these. God, there's a lot of twos. Let me see. Here we go. Questions. How to rank Google My Business for keywords not in the category list. I noticed other Google My Business pages rank for LSI keywords from the category. So, Derek, Jimmy, do you guys want to take that one?
The category page on my business. So the cat. Oh yeah, go ahead, Derek.
No, you can
I
start.
wasn't sure if you had already left or not.
No, I was muted. I couldn't talk.
Yeah. So yeah, it said how to rank Google My Business for keywords not in the category list. I noticed other Google My Business pages rank for LSI keywords from the category.
Yeah, so it's basically the majority of what you're going to rank with Google My Business is based on your organic listing. So it's depending on a lot of how your silo structure is, you will rank mostly based on that, not necessarily what the category is listed in Google My Business. That's usually a good boost, but there's not a lot of categories for your LSIs, and there's a lot of terms missing. So I always just focus on your site structure, and that usually will get you ranked in on the maps for that. So you same thing, Jimmy?
Yeah, I would say, it really depends on, you do some optimization with your images too and stuff that you put up into your places page to help push that a little more. That's also good if they're using, something like Bright Local where you can upload your own images for them to promote. Because you can fill out all the meta descriptions and stuff for that. But yeah, certainly those things will help.
A huge part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, the question's from, I hope I'm saying his name right, Lior. It says, I want to show a potential client my Google first page rankings, and I want to circle and highlight the listing. How do I do that? I have an iMac. I guess I can answer that, and anyone else who wants to chime in, I would say Snagit would probably be the best one for that. It's kind of what Mike uses for a lot of his stuff, to where the circles and the highlights and other stuff. So if that's your question or how I'm understanding it, I would just use Snagit. It's probably the cheapest and easiest to use. If someone else has a different way, let me know.
Yeah, that's what I've been using, Cod.
Yeah.
It's real easy to use for anything like that. And everything that we see that kind of looks good that Mike does, he does it with Snagit. So.
Right. Yeah, I think it's pretty popular and easy to use. Great. Tracy asked, what's director's cut? I think we kind of explained that. I think I explained it after the question was asked. This is more than likely going to be a SEO question for Derek and Jimmy. It says, I'm working with a company that has 600 URLs. They want backlinked and ranked, but they're on a subdomain. How would one go about trying to rank that many URLs on one site? You can say it's too hard to answer, or you can give as much information as you guys want.
It's all about the silo structure, really. So if you're having all the similar pages grouped into silos, and then you should be able to just send a lot of the juice to the top of the silo, and it'll just trickle down and rank all the sub pages as well. So
in other words, you're basically saying the silo structure is going to matter tremendously.
Yeah, it's
like
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You have anything to add? Anyone else?
I would just fully agree with Derek there. That milehighplumbing.net example site I put up, it's got like 110 keywords on the first page, and I haven't done much backlinking other than kind of the one feed stuff that Network Empire teaches, and it just, I mean, it's got so many rankings for all those inner pages, and you know, it's a site that doesn't have much backlinking to it, but so many of those sites, or so many of those pages, those URLs get indexed and ranked because there's little competition for them, and the interlinking on the site just does so much to rank them.
Great. And Leslie asked a great question. What is Director's Cut? I'm in Project Breakthrough. Leslie, if you're in Project Breakthrough, you already have Director's Cut. That is included. Director's Cut is an upgrade for 2014 and beyond members, 2014, 13, and 12 OMG members, and that updated them to equal what you have right now, which is Project Breakthrough. So hope that clears anything up with right there. Ryan asked, started doing a lot of local citation correcting for clients. Seems like the only way to update factual is through Moz, or do you have a similar service you could recommend? Anyone want to answer that one?
With factual, I think you can claim, you can actually go right to there and you can actually find your listing and claim it as well. They kind of just power up a lot of the all the scraping citation sites, so that's one that you want to make sure it's correct. But most of the time, I just update it through, you know, Moz or Yext or any of those ones.
Great. Corey asked a question, when setting up social networks, is it a good practice to brand the profiles with a link, or just have posts with links to the money site? So what would you guys say? Anyone can take that.
Well, I think it
What's
depends
he
on the
setting up?
business
He's
model.
setting up social.
Sorry. If the social profiles are associated with your money site, then I would go ahead and brand them. So like, typically a person's got two different kinds of social profiles. You've got your personal social profiles, and then you've got business social profiles. And if you've got the business social profiles, I would definitely brand them for the company. So like Facebook just changed their policy, interestingly enough, so I might avoid talking about them for just a moment. But Google's got the ability to be able to have a personal Google account and then to have your business page. And there's no reason why you wouldn't have your business page branded. And then for Twitter, if you have a personal Twitter account, I wouldn't necessarily use that for your business, but there's no reason why you can't have a business Twitter account. So a lot of times you've got two accounts, your personal account and your business account, but when it comes to your business account, I would definitely brand that, and I'd run your feeds through it, and I'd make as much use out of it as you possibly can.
Great.
And too, if they're using SendWire and they're setting up a campaign, what I'll do is I'll set up niche-related social sites. So if I'm using SendWire, I'm going to post to them. I'm not going to make all those social sites my brand, but say if I'm a plumber, those social sites will be on plumbing, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So you're talking about secondary social accounts for your brand, right?
Yeah, because he asked about SendWire, so that's usually like yeah. But what you said, I think, was the first part. I was just mentioning what he was saying here on SendWire.
Sure. And we have a question from Ernest. Is Director's Cut on a paid plan? Yes, it is. There is a 12 pay that's $199. I honestly believe that anyone that doesn't have Director's Cut is absolutely insane not to have access for all the people that is in Director's Cut for $199 a month. The knowledge that you're going to get, and the amount of money that you're going to make is far going to exceed more than $199 a month. So yes, it is on a payment plan. Let me try to find something here. It's question for Fletch. On your Mile High Plumbing site, how do you get those page titles set up the way you do when using vKraken?
I set that site up so long ago, I don't remember. I don't think I did anything special though. Essentially, I just put the terms that I wanted to create a page for, and let that the vSilo plugin, which is what I use to create that site, determine the page titles and metadata for those pages. So the plugin essentially created all the metadata for each of those pages, just on pretty much default settings. So yeah, if there's an issue that I'm maybe not remembering, potentially they can send me a private message or something about that. But to my recollection, I didn't do anything special to get the page title and H1 tags, really set up on page the way it is displayed currently.
Great. Tommy Gordon asked, I have a client site in a local competitive niche. Where's the best place to start within the modules? They don't have the physical address, so I can't use G+ local. Honestly, guys, if you're first starting out, I'm going to let Fletch answer this as well because he kind of deals with all the new people coming in. I think that you're crazy not to start out with all of Greg's modules, which is kind of like the foundation of all of OMG. That's where I started. And listening to all the office hours from Fletch and Greg over and over again, along with listening to the foundation of, Greg teaching you everything you need to know, is probably the best place that I would start if you haven't started there, if you haven't listened to it. What do you say, Fletch?
Yeah, this is something I get quite a bit in my office hours, and it's kind of like, well, what do I do most quickly to get a site ranked? And my answer is that you're actually deluding yourself if you think your goal and the way to best change your life or to get an SEO agency up and going is to find the way to get the quickest results, especially if you don't understand what you're doing, which is why I fully recommend going through all of Greg's training on how to set on-site up, really his training on backlinks, anchor text, title tags, URL structure. Those things are going to carry the day on really getting ranked in low competition niches, which a lot of SEO on the local level is. You don't have a ton of competition, so if you get those first things right and get some activity, some indexation, some social backlinks to your pages, to your URLs, you're going to win most of the time. So fast and easiest is not, well, it rarely is best, especially if you don't understand really kind of what you're doing to win. So, I can set a site up and rank it very quickly, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend you just, follow those instructions, because you kind of have to understand a little bit more, actually quite a bit more, about the way SEO works currently. Link juice or whatever we want to, term it at the moment needs to flow in a certain way. Google looks at certain factors, especially URL and title tags, as very important for on-page. And, shortcutting that is really limiting your ability to scale your business and feel really comfortable about your ability to go out and rank, site after site after site. So.
Great answer. We've got Greg did finally kind of popped in a little bit late. How you doing, Greg? You with us?
Good. What's going on, guys?
Great. You know what, Greg? I would love to have you answer that question, because you're the one that helped get me to where I'm at and so many other people. If someone is asking you how they should get started to rank a site and where to start at in OMG, what would be your advice?
Yeah, definitely start understanding URL and anchor text and title tag mixes, because still when updates come, that's the number one thing I look at. And if you can get those right and you start understanding the optimization between those three things, that's taking care of a lot of your SEO. And there's also a new video on page that I did recently. I would also go over that. Just kind of some stuff with on page has changed, where it's more important to get your keywords on the page. Plenty of LSI on there and stuff like that. So that's the best place to start.
Great. Greg, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Mike actually told me to. If you feel uncomfortable sharing with it, and I'd like to know that you and I have talked a little bit that you're discovering and just kind of. I'm not asking you to reveal too much, or you can reveal as much as you want. That you're really getting deep down and figuring out some really fascinating stuff about delays, and how things are moving and things like that. Do you have anything that you'd like to add, or just share about that real quick with some of the things that are coming up?
Yeah, sure. Before I go into that, I just want to publicly thank everyone on this webinar, Fletch, Jimmy, Joe, you, whole Network Empire team, because you guys really held it down while I was getting new data together. When my network went down, I lost a whole bunch of data. I was able to rebuild while you guys really guided the SEO ship, so I want to thank you guys publicly. But yeah, now all my data is really starting to come together. There's going to be a module coming out on ranking EMDs. I mean, it's basically like a lock on EMDs right now with this data I have. I have tons of data to back it up, so I can't wait till that video comes out. And then what Cotton's talking about right now is, the last couple of months I was a little frustrated myself with some delays, but now everything's starting to pop, and I'm starting to see what these delays are about. So basically, new sites, you can't expect them to rank quick anymore. Like, Google is just putting new sites in a sandbox most of the time, and it makes sense because Google, they're the #1 search engine, and their results are already way better than everyone else's, right? So why are they going to risk putting a brand new site in there that could potentially make the listings worse? They want a new site to gain trust before it gets to the top. So when you're starting a new site and it's not moving right away, don't get down yourself and start changing everything with SEO, because it's just going to take time to build that trust, all right? And on the opposite end, I'm noticing links, it's kind of the same thing. It depends if you're sending them to a brand new site or an established site. If you got a brand new site and you're sending, a trusted link to that brand new site, typically it's taking about 30 days to kick in. There's no pinpoint, but that's the average I'm seeing. Usually I'll see 30 days. After 30 days, I'll see movement. But there is a time frame distance, sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes 2 months. And I think that just has to do with the quality of the link, the on-page optimization, or the other thing it could be is possibly a randomization. Google, it would make sense for them to do this where they could say, new site, I'm going to randomly put them in a sandbox between 14 days and 90 days. That way, people go to the forums and are like, well, there's a 30-day sandbox. And then, someone else is like, no, I ranked my site started moving in 7 days. Someone else is like, well, mine took 90 days, and it was really light competition. So it could be a randomization factor. I'm not sure yet, but what we're seeing is there's definitely a sandbox. I mean, everyone knows that, but it's important to understand it, because if you don't, you're going to make unnecessary changes to your site and start just kind of freaking out. You don't want to be checking the rankings every day and just driving yourself crazy, all right? Now, on the other end, what I'm noticing is if you have an established site and you're sending strong links to an established site, I'm basically seeing movement right away, okay? Usually within 2-3 days, but again, that can differ as well. So whenever you're analyzing, why did my site move, why didn't it move, always look at the trust of the site. Brand new sites, very rarely are they going to move up right away. It's going to take time, even with trusted links. And then if you have a more established site, you're probably going to see movement a little quicker. I did a video on this a little more in depth today, which will be getting released soon, but it's really important to understand those things, because if you don't, then you're going to get really frustrated and make basic mistakes. So.
Great information, Greg. I'd like to know
if there's
that.
Any questions on that, just let me know.
Sure, man. Just from talking to you and Mike, man, it's some pretty exciting stuff. That's you've been a beast ever since that's happened. Before OMG Live, and I know that you are consistently putting in hours and hours every day testing that data. And we're just so thankful that we have you and Jimmy and Sue and everyone out there just continually finding this data and bringing it back to us so we can focus on other things to bring to everyone. So guys, you should really thank Greg, Jimmy, and Sue for all the stuff they do. They spend so many hours every day just researching about me, and so does Derek. just pushing out this sort of stuff that I wouldn't have time to do myself. That's what makes OMG so amazing, is we have so many amazing people just sharing their information together. And that's why I love it so much. With the client stuff, you've got me, Fletch, Joe, and, Fletch is what we call him, the Swiss Army knife of SEO. He knows a little bit of everything, but Joe and I are out there coming up with client getting methods. You got Greg, Jimmy, and Sue, and Derek paving the way for SEO. There's really no other place on earth that you're going to be able to get this information from. And it's just exciting to hear that sort of stuff, especially just how you're crushing it right now. So thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Yeah, and one other thing, Web 2.0 is I know a lot of people are doing DAS. I still got data coming in on this as well, but it also seems like, now, even though with that high domain authority, they almost want trust with the page authority as well. So, if you're doing like a Web 2.0 link, before you would kind of see movement right away, even like with a newer site, now it's like they're waiting until you get some trust to that actual page. Because, they're not dumb. They know people are going out and getting links from Tumblr and WordPress and all that. They know the high domain authority sites that are easy to get links from. So I think now it's almost like some people, they want to see movement for like 2 months from a Web 2.0 link, and that could be the process of then, the wait on boosting the page authority, and then once it's boosted, they got to wait a little longer for that to kick in. So that's another thing that I just wanted to bring up.
Sure, that's powerful information. And we'll skip down to some other questions, get to some meat of it. David Fox asks, the fastest and easiest way to get started with making money. I've been in OMG for 8 months now, and have tried a few client getting strategies, but couldn't close a deal. I'm working on a lead gen site right now, but they're taking a long time to make money. I'll answer that, and I'd love to hear from anyone else who wants to answer it as well. Well, my first question that I would ask you, David, if you've been in OMG in 8 months and you're trying to start making money, the always first question that I ask when they get one-on-one time with me ever is, how much time are you putting into it? And there was a guy that came to me about 2 or 3 weeks ago that wanted to pay me for coaching, and I said, I don't charge for coaching. You're in OMG. I'll be more than happy to talk to you for a few moments. Our phone conversation lasted about 10 minutes because he goes, Cotton, I'm doing everything I can to get clients. So I said, all right, tell me what's going on, and how many hours a day are you putting into getting clients? And he said, well, about 1 or 2 hours. I'm like, 1 or 2 hours? And I'm like, well, what are you doing the rest of the day? And he's like, well, I don't know. I go, do you have another job? No. So, guys, listen. Greg Morrison I don't know his schedule, but I just know him well enough to know he's working 10 plus hours a day. I know Fletch does the same thing. I was talking to Joe at midnight. He was making videos, said his eyes were getting ready to pop out of his head. I got Derek, who's trying to message me at 2 a.m. in the morning about stuff. It's consistently, I work from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. If you're not putting in the time and the effort, if you haven't watched every video in OMG, guys, it's your responsibility. You've paid the money, and a lot of money, to get this information. But you know what? You just can't inject Greg Morrison into your body or Fletch into your body and have him possess you and make you work and apply that information to make money. So if you're not working consistently, and I know a lot of you have full-time jobs and everything, but remember, if you don't put a full-time effort into things, don't expect a full-time result. If you're only going to be at this for 4 or 5 hours a week, don't expect, oh my God, I haven't made any money at this. That's expected. I literally had to put in hundreds and maybe even 1,000 hours before I made any money off OMG. That might not be typical. It might be I'm a little slower than most. It might be a little faster. But if you're not going to put in this full time, then don't. But the easiest way to go out and get clients for me, for my answer, is what I always talk about, which is SEO splitting, which is go out there and pull the cheapest thing that you can from that SEO package, which is setting up a social profile, a LinkedIn, a Twitter, a Pinterest business page, and sell it to someone to set it up for $19 or $38 a 2-pack. And then after you get that set up, then upgrade them to SEO. It's the easiest non-threatening way to do it. And if you haven't tried that for 40 plus hours, then I'm telling you that you're not trying, because I know that if I hit the streets, I'm in Las Vegas right now. If I hit the streets right now for 8 hours, I know I can make $10,000. I just know on the airplane yesterday, I got a client for $5,000 that was sitting next to me. He already paid me today. If you're consistently looking for money everywhere you go, whatever you do, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're pumping gas, whether you're looking at the guy, oh yeah, he has a Rolex, or look, the guy over there. I pitch people when I see them in supercars that are over 150, $200,000. Hey, what kind of work do you do? Or hey, why did you buy that car over the Ferrari or over the Lamborghini? They love talking about themselves, getting a conversation. People like this normally don't work for anyone, they work for themselves, and they need search engine optimization. So if you're not actively looking for business wherever you go, I honestly think that it's impossible not to make $5,000 a month just by doing your shopping and telling people everywhere you go. I mean, I like kid you not, we were just at the mall. I was with Mike, and Mike was at Giorgio Armani, and he sold the guy that sold him a suit. OMG. He was so excited to go home and start digging into the videos. That's what Mike does. That's what I do. That's what we all do to go out and make money. So if you're not doing that, that's it. And if you haven't watched all the videos at least twice, I think you're cheating yourself. And I know that Fletch might have something to say about this as well because he's pretty passionate about it. But what do you have to say, Fletch?
Yeah, it's something you can work yourself into an incredible lifestyle with if you're willing to do what's necessary to have the skill set that's valuable. And you can come in preloaded with whatever, but unless you're able to really deliver results for people, one, you're not going to feel confident really pitching hard. And the way I look at it, I look at other people who sell SEO, they're not OMG, and I'm cheating people if I'm not selling harder than them because they're really being pitched by a bunch of people who provide substandard results. So I'm really comfortable talking to people about really what their business means to them. I approach it in my own way, but when we get to the level of why they have a business and why they're trying to do whatever they're doing, I don't mind digging into pretty much the extent of training, whether it's technical SEO, whether it's client getting stuff. Cotton's opened up a whole new world to me, and a lot of people see Cotton really is a master of client getting. I think he is, but for me, he was even more of a resource for client fulfillment. That's what opened up a whole new world for me, that if I wouldn't have spent time with him at OMG Live and really digging into the way he approaches things and looks at things, I would never have had those breakthroughs. And sometimes there's going to be a few elements in a video that's not in other ways that profound that might strike you at any given time. So yeah, I've watched all the videos in OMG. To my knowledge, I've watched most of the videos, if not all, that Network Empire has brought into the fold as well. And this is really a lifestyle business, but you've got to work yourself into that lifestyle. If you've come into this with an existing client database that you can just go back and resell a better product, that's one thing. But most of us are here not with that background. And I certainly was not. I had to go out and try to talk to construction people and convince them that they needed better online marketing and all sorts of other things. And it really comes down to how badly you want the result. And for us, the result is, for me, it was a better lifestyle, it was the ability to take care of my family better, and really give back. I care about people. I want their lives to be better. That's what fueled me to wake up at 4 a.m. every day for 6 or 9 months and go over to Starbucks and watch these videos. Cotton talks about pitching people on a plane. I've signed 5 or 6 people up at the Starbucks I drink coffee at every morning that are now OMGers, and it's really consuming enough of this information so that you become it. It becomes you, and you embody it in such a way that you're willing and you want to help other people out with it. So until you get to that level, you need to spend more time, and you need to spend more, emotional energy in really embodying what this can mean for people.
Joe, I'd like to hear what you have to say. What do you say, Joe?
And if I could add, yeah, I was thinking, um, for me, when I read this question, I asked the same question, not when I was in OMG, but when I first started. But, except I was working at this like 10 hours a day. And I had already gotten a client that was already paying me $700 a month. And, I was telling someone, man, and he was already making a lot of money. He says, man, I'm not making it. I'm working in it, and I'm just not making as much as I thought I would. And he's like, well, how much are you working on your business each day? And I'm like, shoot, man, I'm working like 8 hours plus. I got my other job. I'm working till midnight. He says, well, no. He says, how much are you working on your core business? Like, how much are you working on going out and getting clients? And I was like, well, probably 2-3 hours. The other time I was doing affiliate stuff, building sites, trying pay-per-click stuff. Like, I was so unfocused. And it wasn't until I got focused and says, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to just work on getting clients. And every day I'm sitting down, the only thing I'm doing is trying to get clients. And that's when, after I did that, it's like I got in a zone, right? Like when people are working, when they're in sports, or, I was in the zone. I closed $100,000 2 months later. And, I could make as much money as I want to. And the advantage that people have in OMG is they just have to, they go out and they get the client, the fulfillment is there. It's all in there. And with their, like, the stuff in Director's Cut, with Network Empire, I mean, I understand more clearly domain stacking than I ever did before, and all of that. So I mean, it's all right there. But the thing is you gotta stay positive, and you gotta stay focused. And like you guys said, you just have to go, and be there and pitch it to people, and you're gonna get no's, but don't even let them bother you, because if you get 10 no's and you get one guy that's gonna pay you $5,000 a month, dude, I'll take 100 no's, But if you quit after the 9th no, you're not gonna get that guy that's gonna give you the $5,000 a month.
True. Well, one of the things that you just said, Joe, that just kind of struck me is that a lot of people are scared and worry about what to do after. Well, what if I get this $10,000 a month client? Guys, and I can't stress this enough, don't worry about problems that you don't have. They'll get worked out. I promise you that if you land a $5,000 client or a $7,000 client a month, and if you're scared about it, and if you've got some questions, Joe, myself, Fletch, Greg, anyone, we're not going to let you fail. You're part of OMG. And second of all, they're going to give it to someone else anyway, who better equipped to get it to. And you know what? I'd rather get paid to learn than never to have the money at all. So that's a lot of money to build up your network. That's a lot of money to even, if you got to pay Jimmy for some coaching, to ask what he thinks. It's better to have that $10,000 a month and give Jimmy 1,000 of it, to ask him what to do, versus not ever having it at all. So don't be scared and worry about problems you don't have. Everything seems to work out. As long as you're moving forward and as long as you're learning, I would rather you make $30,000 over 6 months and have a client hate you than you never having the money at all, because the learning experience is just astronomical from you having the client, experiencing it, how to rank it, and everything. Nothing's going to be perfect the first time, but my God, don't be scared to try. So that's just what I wanted to add. So don't worry about problems in SEO that you don't have. Just follow what Greg says. Follow some client getting tactic. Follow it through for many hours, and then determine that might not be something that you're comfortable with, and move on to something else. But don't be scared to take clients because you just don't know how you're going to rank them, or what if you don't. You're just leaving so much money out on the table. Even though I know I can rank every client, yeah, those things creeping in your head from now and then that you say, hey, what if you can't, man? This is a pretty big deal, I had a client with, that had 93 locations, and I was like, oh, whoa, Cotton, you might get in over your head here. You know what? Shut up. That's what I got to tell myself, and I just dug in, and I took the astronomical amount of money, and I'm happy I did, because it turned out to be way, 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 way easier than I ever anticipated. We make everything much more harder, much more difficult in our minds than what it really is, and so just remember that. So don't be scared with stuff like that. All right, next question. Let's see here. Many times I hear the Network Empire crew talking about having a siloed site. Then if you also want a blog on that site, to put it on a subdomain so you can blog regularly without worrying about silo structure. Can you explain the advantage is to this and either or how to do create a blog subdomain and where I would go to learn how to implement it? Jimmy or Sue, do you know what they're talking about?
Yeah, I know what they're talking about. So it's not actually, it's not that the blog goes on a subdomain so that you don't have to silo it. I put the blog on a subdomain just because it's easier to track the traffic. I want to know where the traffic's coming from. I want to know what articles attract attention. And you can do it all on a single subdomain, but it just breaks out nicer in analytics if you have it on two different subdomains. So as for where you go to learn how to do a subdomain, like that's just a setting in your cPanel. You can go in there and create a subdomain for your current domain. And there's usually push button stuff that you can do to set up the subdomain and then to add a blog to that. And I would put a silo plugin on both of them. I would silo both the site and the subdomain.
Great. Great answer. We have a question from Claudia. It says, this is my first office hour, so sorry if this has been addressed before. This is probably a Greg question. Do we or do we not want to buy expired domains for our PBN?
Yeah, I talked about this in the recent video I did. But the overview is, look, expired domains for money sites are still working, and they're still working very well. If they're themed, they're working even better. But we just don't want to really recommend that to the community because we can see problems coming with them down the road. We think it's something that Google can put a stop to, and on top of that, if you don't know what to look for, you're starting off with a penalty right away. We know how to build the domain authority of a site ourselves. Of course, having that in place can be very beneficial, but whether you want to put yourself in that position or not is up to you. But I will tell you they are still working very well. It just depends. Do you want to take the risk of it possibly failing down the road and the risk of there possibly being a penalty attached you didn't foresee?
Great answer. Next one is from Fran. It's for Derek or Jimmy, and Derek had to take off really quick, and he'll be right back. So this is probably a question for Jimmy. It says, I've been trying to use voice searching in local, but I get different areas in the search. Do you think voice search will gain traction to be more useful in the future?
Voice search. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, there's different technologies and stuff coming out where, you're able to talk. What's that thing called, Sue, that Amazon came out with? Can't remember what the heck that was.
Oh.
That toy I wanted to get.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name either.
Yeah, the Echo. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, so, I mean, I could see technology moving towards that. I mean, I don't know how that's going to interface well with some things, but certainly, I could see it moving that way. I know a lot of people now on their phones that just talk to their phone as opposed to sitting there and texting or doing that kind of thing, so I could see a use for it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I've never messed with that myself, but it's something interesting to think about. All right, we'll move on to the next question, which is Taylor Graham. This can be for any one of you guys here. It says, hey guys, I'm trying to rank for my city. There's an SEO ranking #1 for a very competitive term, but she only has a DAPA of 1 and a TFCF of 3 and 15. The backlink profile looks like they're very spammy ad sites, and the anchor text ratio is 93% of the target keyword. I am perplexed as how she could be ranking. She has a PMD, as I do. I have more TFCF, etc., and her domain is only 6 months old. How is that possible? Could she even have been de-indexed? She should have been de-indexed by now at 93%. My city SEO as her anchor. How can you out SEO someone with that much more specific anchor text, or with much more specific anchor text?
My guess would be look into the 301s going to the site.
You're so quick to figure this stuff out. It's crazy. So you think that this chick has is 301ing other sites into her site,
That would be my guess.
right?
Because that way, when you're looking at the backlink profiles, and plus there's not any metrics really showing up that she can see right now.
Mhm.
You give that some time, and the PND will catch up with it. You'll probably be able to see a lot more of what she's doing behind the scenes. But initially, typically when you're doing 301s and things like that, it takes a while for those metrics to catch up.
Right. Let me ask you a question though. Is that something that you think, Jimmy, that's going to catch up and Google's going to spank down on that pretty soon, or do you think that's going to be pretty safe to do for the future?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Exactly.
It depends on how well that she filtered it. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll just leave that question as it is. So
I'll add.
Sure.
I'll add that 301s can be a really dangerous technique if you don't know what you're doing. It can be like handing a loaded gun to a kid.
True. Very true. Wise words. Let's see here.
Very true. Hey, we should totally bring Mike on to ask him a question.
Oh, Mike is on?
Mike Hayden. Do you see him in the audio?
Oh, make him an organizer. I don't care. Bring him on. You can do it, Jimmy. I'm reading questions, so if you want to bring on anyone, you're more than welcome to. It says, the next question is from Lior also. It says, when I do a DAS to my PBN tags, in Tumblr, there's many more choices. Just link or text, what is the best approach? You know what? I would save that question. I think you're going to get that question answered here in a little bit. So we'll just move on to the next question. It says here, hi all. This is from Mike Bouchard, I believe. Hi all. Does Google see inner link anchor text and external link anchor text the same? Example, can you see the same anchor text on your PBNs as your inner URL links, or would this cause an over-optimization penalty? Anyone want to answer that one?
Ask that one again.
It says, does Google see inner link anchor text and external link anchor text the same? Example, can you use the same anchor text on your PBNs as the inner link URLs, or would this cause an over-optimization penalty? If you don't understand the question, just tell them I don't understand it. We can.
Yeah, it's not quite clear. I mean, interlinking would be between the pages, but I guess it depends on where you're linking out to from the PBN, if that would cause an issue or not.
Right. Okay. Yeah, if you want to put some more detail on that question,
you might be asking if it's cumulative, like the inner anchor text plus, like your inner links plus the links from PBNs.
Oh, well, yeah. In that instance, it's a total bucket. Your your on-site anchor text combined with your off-site is the same bucket.
Yep.
Okay. This is a good question for Jimmy or Sue. It's from Gad F. It says, what would you think about using social exchange services as Add Me Fast or Like for Like as part of adding social trust? Is this something you'd recommend in addition to Social Explosion? Can these be used directly to your money site?
I'm not familiar with either one of those. Are you, Jimmy?
I think more what question they're asking, Sue, is there any beneficial thing to help your site with like trust by adding clicks or likes to your site from a service that will provide likes to it? In addition to
certainly.
Social Explosion.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, like getting traffic to your site will help move it. I notice more of an effect when you're, in the top 10 positions more so than when you're further down into the SERPs, using that kind of method. But, I mean, it'll still move it a little bit when it's further back.
Okay. So you don't see any harm in them using services like that in addition to Social Explosion?
Well, they need to be careful with the service that they're using. I mean, take a look at the IPs that are coming through, because a lot of them out there come from the same C-class IP. and that's a big footprint. I mean, you need to make sure that whatever service they're using, they're coming out with different IPs through that.
Right. So basically, you're just saying.
And be careful of bounce rate.
Yeah. True. So you're just basically saying that a lot of these services all have the same IP and they're just throwing the same likes at it. That obviously is something that you don't want. So be very careful about these services and who you want to use that with. Got it. Spencer Jones asks, what's the optimal keyword density? What percentage of a particular keyword do you think is too much? Either Greg or Jimmy.
I usually don't go more than 2% on a main keyword and 1% for any LSIs or long tails.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on, again, the trust of the site and how many links you have. Because, I mean, if you have, 2 links going to a site and you have 50% anchor text, that's going to be acceptable. Whereas if you have 1,000 links to a site and 500 of them are the anchor text, that's a different 50%. So it depends on how many links you have to the site and also how established the site is. And also how big the keyword is. Like if it's a bigger keyword like weight loss, you can get away with more anchor text. But if it's something like weight loss for women over 40 years old, then you're not going to be able to get away with as much anchor text because it's a longer keyword, and the chances of that happening at a higher rate, as much as something like weight loss isn't as great. So it really depends on how long the keyword is, the trust of the site, and also how many links you have.
Great. Next question is from Mike Bouchard. It says, when embedding YouTube videos on your websites, do you think there is a benefit to using videos found in Google SERPs or ones that are ranked in YouTube search engines, since Google seems to think that those videos deserve high rankings in the Google SERPs based on the relevancy and optimization of those videos? Anyone want to answer that one?
Well, I mean, at Network Empire, we always say promote yourself first, and really ranking the YouTube videos in the YouTube search should be pretty quick and easy to do. So I would recommend doing it for your own stuff before you pull someone else's in there. That would be my recommendation.
Got it. Next question. Let's see if we can't we're giving the same people asked. I'd like to mix this up a little bit, move down a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah, Stefan asked a question. Wasn't there supposed to be a special guest today talking about WP Word Like Press Security? That got pushed back to next week. He had a prior engagement, and with me being in Las Vegas, we wanted to give him extra attention. That light guest will be on next week. So his light name is Vinny Traiola, and he's probably one of the most well-known kind of Fortune 500 company hackers. He's like paid to go in and test network security. He helped solve the Apple iTunes break-in, and also solved a lot of other ones, including the Sony hack and other stuff. He's been on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, a lot of other stuff. He's going to be our special guest next week, so that's still going to happen. It says, damn, Greg is in beast mode. It's from Ernest. That is correct. It says, Greg released a video. Let's see here. A lot of this. If a new site has a quality underlying product with e-commerce, why would it get stuck in the sandbox? Could either be for Greg or Jimmy.
You mean sandbox as in it's not ranking, or is low to rank?
If it's an e-commerce site, why would they want to put it in the sandbox?
That's kind of a thin question. It would need more meat to that. Give us a situation.
Exactly. All right, we'll just move along. Next question: If Google starts checking Tier 3 links, does that mean our PBNs will get de-indexed, since those links won't be relevant to the theme of the PBN? Jimmy, Sue, Greg?
I mean, right now it's still link juice. And that's all we're looking at right now. I don't know if Jimmy and Sue want to add anything to that.
The more themed that you can make your links, the better it's going to be.
They're asking. Yeah, I would say long term you want to try and theme your links to at least be somewhat relevant to what you're linking to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm trying to find questions here. We're getting a lot of comments on here. Trying to move down. A lot of comments and a lot of questions. How do you silo an EMD for a keyword without over optimizing the URL string?
That's a great question. We actually spent 15, 20 minutes on that not too long ago in one of our webinars.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I would want to reference them back to that. Was that this week, Jimmy, or was that last week's?
Yeah, that was just last night.
Yeah, so that'll be posted within the next day or two, and you should check that replay in Director's Cut.
Great.
It's quite an in-depth answer.
Guys, I would. That's exactly why you got to be a part of Director's Cut. It's just crazy not to be.
Yeah, just listen to those coaching replays as you're doing whatever. You know what I mean? Just listen to them, and I do. I listen to the coaching webinars myself. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, and I don't want you to think that you're jumping in late on Director's Cut. All this stuff is literally within the last 30 days. I like think that, Russell, Sue, and Jimmy have got like 4 or 5 webinars up. I know this is my 4th. Joe's got 4 or 5 up. There's a lot of content in there right now, and it's just going to continue to get loaded up even more. And with Joe, with those 20 videos, he's getting ready to like drop in there soon. There's a plethora of content in there. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of content just for the first 30 days it's been open. So definitely something that you're not too late to jump in on. Question from Kathy: if a potential client has an existing site that someone else built and hosts, how can you get them as a client? How would you go about taking this site over? If a potential client has an existing site that someone else built and hosts, how can you? I think what they're trying to say is if you have one of these shisty guys that have sold SEO and that built it and hosts it, doesn't want to give it back, how does anyone go about taking that site back over? I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had this happen before, so I really can't answer this. If any of you guys have ever had this happen before or have a way to do it, please jump in. If not, I'll dig in and try to get an answer and see if I can't find it out later.
I mean, what I've done is I've had people who've had that situation where and a lot of times the sites that they have are not any good anyway, or they're not on WordPress, or there's some HTML site. What I try to do with most clients is I'm redoing their website anyway. So I usually just pitch them on a new site, and then I let them know. What I do is I'll let them know, hey, you're going to host this yourself. This is going to be your domain. You're going to own this site. I'm not going to screw around with you a year from now.
Right. And this question for either Sue or Jimmy: can Social Explosion, does it have to be in just English, or can it be in other languages?
It's an interesting question. The Social Explosion, can you have multiple languages? So predominantly, I think our members at the moment are English speaking, but I've noticed more and more that as I've done checks back in the accounts that we're getting more languages in it. So we've actually started theming the accounts out and separating out to a larger degree, and we'll continue to do that more. So we'll probably start to set up languages in there as well as the themes, but that'll be up and coming. So for the moment, you can do it. It just means that, like if you've got a Spanish tweet, it's going to show up in the middle of non-Spanish tweets.
Okay.
I haven't seen any negative implication from that up till now.
Okay. Yeah, he had asked that question twice, and I could have avoided it the first time, and so we just thought I would address it. The next question, we're going to answer about 4 or 5 more questions, and then Derek finally got back. He had to drop his child off real quick and make it back. So Derek is back with us. So we'll answer a few more questions, and then we're going to get on to what everyone's been waiting for, which I think is going to be pretty exciting. And then if we have some more time, we'll answer some more questions after that. The next question is, when I link to a Web 2.0 like Facebook post, that links to my website. Can I link to that Facebook post with my exact anchor text without running into an over optimization penalty? Does Google count this anchor text against my money site?
You don't want to go overboard with it. I would kind of do it the same way. Look, right now you can, depending on what type of links you're doing. Like if you're just doing a few PBNs to it, you actually can do all money keyword. But I would treat it more like a money site, just for like long term, where you're mixing up the anchor text, like kind of like you would for a money site. And people who are like using GSA to Web 2.0s, they're like linking to their money site. What I'm seeing working really well is just mostly like branded and generic with just a little bit of keyword mixed in. So, I mean, yeah, it definitely can affect you, if you have too much keyword in there, a whole bunch of links. But my advice would just kind of treat it like a money site with anchor text, and that will help you out long term.
Great. We have a question from Martin right here. It's his question for me, but also like to hear from Fletch and Joe on this as well. It says, I was late and don't know if it was covered, but what would I tell a client if they wanted to know what guarantee do I have if this type of question pops up, such as, do you give any guarantees? And that's a complicated question, but I'm going to probably try to answer it the best I can. I'm one of the few people, and a lot of people think I'm crazy, I guarantee a page 1 ranking based on the time frame that I've analyzed their site, and I know that I can get them there. So once I look at their site and see how difficult it is based upon what I've used to rank other sites, I can say, look, I guarantee that I will get you on page 1 in a period of 6 to 7 months. Then after 7 months, I asked for a 90-day grace period after that to get there. If I don't, or I will give you all your money back. Now that's what I do. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then don't. I've never had to give my money back for anything that I've ever done. Now, what I tell them is that it touches page 1. So it's a very loose guarantee, but it makes at least people feel better. I know that a lot of people don't like to guarantee anything, but I feel that if I know my SEO well enough, and if I'm going to take it, and if I've given an adequate amount of time that I say I'm going to get something somewhere, I'm the type of consumer. I like to treat people or feel like I'd like to be felt when I go in somewhere. If I take my car in to get it serviced and they say, well, we might be able to get it done, but we can't guarantee you, but it's still going to cost you $2,000. I would be like, sorry, I'm going to go somewhere else. So that's what I base my theory on. If you're not comfortable or you're not that confident in your SEO, then don't. I'm not saying my way's right or wrong, but I'd love to hear from Fletcher, Joe, and what they would do with similar situations, or if they offer a guarantee or not.
I used to offer guarantees. I actually had a guarantee, and guarantees you just have to, like you said, be comfortable with it. I offered people 6-month guarantee, and it was pretty broad, and it was like, hey, if it's not working for you, if you're not on page 1, I'll give you all your money back. The caveat was I get to keep all the properties I made. I've never had to give anything back. I think in the SEO world, people get screwed so often. They're just afraid that you're not going to do what you say you're going to do. So like a guarantee says, like you said, we can touch page 1. I mean, if you can't get a video for a term on page 1 in 6 months, you shouldn't even be getting paid anyway. So you can make that guarantee as narrow as possible, but again, you got to be comfortable with it, and you have to make it so that it's not so broad that even you get them to page 1 and you do everything you're supposed to, and they're just like, I just want my money back. So you have to be. I would just be specific with the guarantee.
Mm-hmm. What do you say, Fletch?
Yeah, I actually have a couple businesses. One of them I sell leads, so I only charge for leads that are qualified or good leads. If they're so hung up on that, I will not get into bed with them for SEO. They're not going to be a great client. On the other end of the spectrum, my marketing company, I'm very exclusive with it. I follow kind of the Pareto principle, the 80-20. I've gone even further that direction. I base really all my positioning on relationship and proof that I I care about the client as well as know how to deliver results. So I don't encounter this much, and if I do, I'll either say, you know what, you need to shift over to this other business that I own, and we can deliver results for you until you're ready to step up to this. But I don't offer results outside of the lead gen business that I have, that I just sell based on a transaction, a phone call.
Great. Hopefully that gives some context to that question to help everyone out from doing 3 people, especially, you know, Fletch and Joe. They're doing incredibly well at this sort of stuff. A couple more questions. This one to anyone that wants to answer. When buying proxies, is a shared or dedicated better, and why? And what are the key things to be aware of when buying proxies? Jimmy, you want to try that, or Derek?
Jimmy, wanted
What was the question again?
proxies, if dedicated or semi-dedicated really matters, basically. I use dedicated all the time just because of the speed difference, but
Yeah, I would use dedicated. There are different kinds of dedicated proxies too. There's anonymous, and if it doesn't say that it's anonymous, it means that they can probably see through to the IP on the originating site. So you want to go for the slightly more expensive ones.
Okay. We'll do the last question here before we jump up here. Have you seen any changes in the speed of ranking new YouTube videos with the Google organic search compared to a website or new 2.0 pages? And would linking to new videos from a PBN take less time before you see more results? So they're kind of asking the opinion of us of what do you see as ranking faster, a Weebly, a YouTube, or a regular website?
I would say Weebly and YouTube will definitely rank quicker than a new website.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy, what do you say?
I would agree.
Okay, Sue says she agrees. And
Should.
all right, guys, it's what everyone's been waiting for. We have answered about an hour and 15 minutes worth of questions. Hopefully that was very helpful. But everyone's here today to see exactly what we promised, something that literally is going to blow you away. I literally believe that you're going to get a tremendous benefit from this. And right now, we are going to give the screen to Derek. Do you need the screen first?
yeah, you can show me the screen.
Okay, you can. Let me see here. Let me give it to you. Make the presenter. So,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just let me know when you can see it. You can see it?
I can see it now.
Okay. Well, I think Jimmy showed this a little while ago with in Becker's webinar, but I was mostly
Left out a few details.
yeah, I left out a few details, and plus we kind of want to bring it home to OMG, right? So, actually, Jimmy showed me. He actually was teasing me with this a little while ago. Was it a few months ago or something? And we were just chatting on Skype, and then basically watching one of his rankings just kind of go up live in front of us, like 2 pages right in front of us, like basically hitting refresh, and all of a sudden it's another 5 spots up, and then another 5 spots up, and it wasn't any tiny little keyword either, so it's not exactly for just long tail, it's for massive keywords. So and so this one I just kind of did today, like maybe an hour before the webinar.
Derek,
And,
Derek, not to interrupt you, but if you could give a little bit of
Yeah.
context of what you're going to go over, what it is, and then that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, well, we call this the Tumblr method, and it can be used for quite a lot of different things, not just for pushing up rankings, but it can pull you out of a penguin penalty. We've seen that lots because you're going to get quite a lot of anchor text, and you can dilute your portfolio quite quickly. And also, most people don't know this, Tumblr brings a massive amount of traffic where I've done some of these, and then I get a spike of like 500, 600 visitors a day. and it lasts for about 3-4 days. So what I've seen over and over again is that having additional traffic, not just from search engines but other properties like social properties, has a really big positive effect on your search engine ranking as well. So you see that too, right, Jimmy? He's still here.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I just keep myself muted so you don't hear the kids in the background.
Yeah. All right. So what I do is usually trying to find something that's going to be a little viral, and so you don't, like for this example I just threw up, it was just a picture of a cute dog, and what I try to do is actually entice people not to just look at the picture but click through to see what the rest of it, and so that's going to bring a lot more traffic rather than just building your ranks. Okay, and you can use a video or image, or if you have a really good article that can be viral, but usually images for me respond really well on Tumblr because it's a very, very fast moving platform, and things get shared really crazy fast. I've had ones over 4,000 notes, which on Tumblr is a lake or a reblog, and what we're trying to aim for is the reblogs. Okay, and so when they get shared, it's going to be the same thing on their blog with the link. So this one here is actually a do follow link, and so you have to be careful on how you're going to juice up the actual individual reblogs. So that's why we kind of use social explosion a lot of the time. So it's probably the safest method, and it actually has a lot of juice pointing back to your site, and you'll skyrocket in the rankings with this. And I've done 1 or 2 of these just for a local site, and that's all I had to do. So
let me ask you a question, Derek, for those that just might not quite get it. So what you want to do is you want to go out, and let's just go from the very beginning because I want everyone to understand this very, very, very clearly. But guys, before we get started, if you're excited about what you're seeing so far, why don't you let them know, Sue, Derek, and them, go to the Facebook group right now and then type in hashtag show me more. Hashtag show me more. And while I'm talking, when we get at least 75, we have almost 400 people on this webinar right now. We can at least get 100. Until we get 100, we're just not gonna continue. Show them your appreciation, get it going. But what I'm asking, Jared, is let's take it someone that's very, very new right now that does know nothing about this. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go out and obviously create a Tumblr account, correct?
Yeah, have a new Tumblr account, but the best results we've gotten is with on aged ones. So most people have a Tumblr account that's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm. So it'll work with a new one, but you say that
this one is a new one, but it'll work too.
So for those that don't know how to go out and find an aged Tumblr account, they can use a new one because that question is going to come up. So what they would do is they would create a post that just like yours that you think is viral and something that they can click through, right?
Yeah, you want to have something that's related to your industry. So, like I had one on a consult, and he was trying to boost up his dentist, and then he started using image stock, and I was just like, that's not going to go viral or anything like that. And then so I kind of suggested the idea of using one of those funny videos when people come off of getting their wisdom teeth pulled out, and then they're just kind of talking nonsense, and they're just making everyone laugh, and those things just go viral like crazy, and it's related to the topic. So.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to be a little bit creative. I mean, it's going to be a testing ground. You're going to have to test a few different things. You might not get it on the first time, but some of these can go. I've seen on Tumblr, if you just browse on Tumblr, you'll see some with 100,000 notes, and they're not active. The less you make it look promotional, the better your results are going to be.
Great. So as far as we got right now, we still need about 15 more posts on the Facebook page before we continue. So to get everyone up to speed, Tumblr account, create a post that works.
Yeah.
And now we're getting our last few right here, and we just got it right now. So continue, please.
All right. So what you really want to do is there's 2 spots on here that are going to have links on it, and see if I can go to the dashboard. Okay, and so when you come in here, you're going to do text, and it's funny because Tumblr just changed their platform yesterday, so I was like, oh, what's going on in here? When you do it, there's a spot in here. You can put the content source. So I usually either link to the home page from here, and then I'll put a link in here. You can do source, and then you can do the inner URL you're trying to rank, or you can do it to your home page. But usually you have 2 different spots to put links, so I try to mix it up. Or you can use, a different property in your DAS stack, whatever you need to. Either use your branded, or you can use a URL link, or you can use kind of a generic anchor text. But you just have to be careful. Don't use money anchors, because when this thing goes viral, you can easily get your site penalized if you're using any kind of money anchors. Okay. And then in here, the tags. This is where we're finding a lot of the juice is how it's actually concentrating on what we're trying to rank for. So if we're trying to rank for dog training, dog training, like puppy obedience. Maybe I should spell that right.
So you're saying that the key ingredients to all this right now is just to make everyone understand, is in these tags right now.
Yeah, that, and also if you're using someone like a partial EMD, it's going to get pushed up a lot better. Or if it's in the actual URL, the keyword, I find it's going to get a lot more boost, because when it gets shared, the tags don't actually show up on the reblog, but all the reblogs do point back to the original post, so that's actually juicing up your post, and it's going to push your keyword up same time. So, and it's going to link to your site.
Well, I think we jumped ahead a little bit, because even if I was someone new, you're like kind of showing us how to do the post properly. I don't think we're up to the reblog point yet, or to even understand about.
No, I'm just Well,
I'll draw a diagram for you guys once he walks you through.
Good.
Okay.
Before we get into the next part.
Good. Please continue.
And what's another good keyword? Sometimes I just do one that's going to be generic, because forget it. You saw what I was doing. If you do one that's kind of generic, there is a mass tag in Tumblr that actually will help juice it up too. Whether it's public, it's not just individually to your account. Okay, so when you post that, like I did. Let's just see what keywords I used. I wasn't actually trying to rank this. It was just kind of a dummy one, but
sure.
I just kind of used cute dog, puppy training, and then I tried to rank for dog pictures, okay? And you'll notice that you'll actually get an individual URL of these as well that you can target with some extra juice. But there's also...
So you're saying that all the tags have their own URLs also?
Yeah, they have tags there, and then you're also going to get tags on the actual Tumblr blog. So these ones already have existing page authority. So that's why sometimes I always throw one in there that's going to be really popular, because you'll end up on this page somewhere right after, and then you're going to get a link from there too. Okay. And then, if there's any questions up to there, I don't know.
I had a question, Derek. Is there a way to figure out or find what those tags that are available on the actual Tumblr.com domain or site are?
You can just kind of, there's not really, you can kind of just look around in Tumblr and you'll find stuff. And there used to be kind of like a trending Tumblr tag thing. You could just Google it, trending Tumblr blog or tags, and you should be able to find something that's similar to what you're looking for. But usually you just kind of, it's going to be the stuff you think of the most. It's like the most common ones. So dog is going to have pretty good page authority, but it also gives you, if you do your own unique one, there's not going to be anyone else on there. So this also gives you another spot where you can send juice just to your own kind of post. Okay, and then what we do is we go over to Fiverr, and you're going to give him this actual individual URL. So this is the one that's just for that post only, okay? And I've been using this guy right here, and I can share it. What you do look for on Tumblr is people with actual followers. Okay, you don't want people guaranteeing, 100 reblogs or whatever, because they're not going to be real accounts. There's just going to be some kind of bot, and it's not going to look natural, and there's not going to be enough juice, because when this gets shared, it's going to go on to aged accounts with existing page authority, and they have a lot of juice that way. So if you do it with a bot, it's going to be a lot harder to get the rankings out of it. Okay.
Guys, let me go to the thing. Guys, if this is making sense to you, give me a 1. If you need some more explanation on this, give me a 2. We're getting a lot of 2s. Yeah.
What's not making sense?
I know how to think how a newbie thinks, and so let me try to go back, Derek, and then you can correct me, guys. We're gonna go to Tumblr, and we're gonna find, now correct me if I'm wrong, Derek. You want them to find trending tags.
Well, I put one trending tag, or one that's going to be a popular tag, but then the other 2 or 3, those are the keywords you're trying to rank.
Sure. So, guys, let's just say that we have, that we're trying to rank a dog training site, just like you said. So we're going to either, you can do a brand new Tumblr post, or you can have an aged Tumblr account, whichever you do, a new Tumblr account or an aged Tumblr account, one of the two. Just don't get mixed up and don't get caught up in that. We're going to make a post about what Derek's just done. If you could go back to that post really quick, Derek. You're going to make a post, and Derek put the cutest puppies ever. You just put a simple post up, put a really cute little picture up there. And if you notice, there's not a lot of context at the bottom of this. But what Derek did is he put the source, which is what you are trying to rank. Is that correct, Derek?
Yeah, so I'm trying to rank this, and then I'm also using this as clickbait. So they want to see the rest of the pictures, they're going to click over here.
Exactly. So, guys, look, there's not a lot of content on there. Look how simple that was. Derek put the source of where he wants people to go, where he wants them to rank. He's also using his clickbait. Then what's driving this is what Jimmy's figured out is these tags that Derek showed you what to put in there. He put one viral, and he put other tags that are similar that people might look for or that are related to this to just do that. Then what Jimmy's discovered is, and Jimmy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is if you then reblog this, Derek, if you go over to the Fiverr gig, if you reblog this to other people that have followers, it's going to look like this is going viral, which is going to add more domain authority, more page authority back to this, which in essence drives your site up tremendously. Is that it, kind of in a nutshell?
Yeah, I mean, basically, we talked about this a little bit last night. I mean, some people are asking, well, should I add more links? They're asking if they need to go and apply more links. And my methodology has always been, why don't you add more value to the existing links you've already put up? So in this instance, it's kind of like, giving it some social validation, showing that it has popularity, people are sharing it, you're going to generate traffic from it. And, you listed the source on that page. So all of that counts towards it. One thing I like to do too is either with a video or a picture, I like to also put that on the money site as well. So I'd usually take one of these and also put it on my destination page that he has there on the money site.
Yeah, it goes over here, and then he's over here again. So
guys, we're getting some questions here. It says, how many reblogs should you get?
The one I'm
As
doing right
many
now is
as
just
you
one.
can.
Yeah, I just usually it only takes me one. I can get up to 2,000 notes with just one 5 gig.
Right.
So
Another
it's
question.
it's a bit of a master of a craft, like trying to figure out what's going to go viral, because some people try to commercialize it too much, and then this is the general public you're trying to pass it on.
No, these are redundant questions, but I'm helping them for those out there that
Yeah.
like just don't get it. The question is, are we directing them to a page with viral content and hoping this will increase the DA of the money page that we want to rank the site?
Yeah, so we're trying to. This will increase obviously the page authority of the site you're trying to rank, and it's going to also build your account up as well too. So
I think more what he's trying to ask is Derek, if like you can highlight that source right there, just that is exactly what you're trying to rank, correct? That's the naked URL of what. So guys, I want you to understand that. Don't get confused. I think what he asked is that a viral site? No, that's Derek's site that he's trying to rank. So you put your site on there. It's www.moneysite.com. That's where your money site link goes. Back to that, the domain authority and page authority of this Tumblr with those reblogs are going to go back to your money site and help that rank or whatever site you're trying to rank. Hope that helps answer questions. Guys, if this is making a lot more sense to you, give me a 1. And if it's not, give me a 2. We're getting a lot more 1s right now. A lot more 1s. Yeah, everyone's finally catching on. So please continue, and then we'll just hand it over to Jimmy and keep moving forward. I just want to make sure that everyone understood how to do this. This one guy goes, how effective is this?
It's
It's very effective.
Yeah, when Jimmy was teasing me with this, and I had to basically bug him for like every day for a couple of weeks to figure out what it was.
Right. Guys that are asking the questions, any picture. They're like asking, Derek, where did you get this picture from? Just type in Google cute puppy pictures and put one up there.
It doesn't have to be anything special. I mean, basically what we're trying to do is connect this with your money site. So whatever picture or video you decide to use, it could be anything. It needs to be on the money page, the one that you're linking to down below, the same thing. So, and Derek is saying that when you put in something that's a little more shareable, like if you have a cat site or something like that, like cute pictures of cats will get shared a lot more with a bunch of cat lovers out there. I mean, you could literally put up a picture and say, share if you like cats, and it'll just go all over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
Question.
And Tumblr is one of those. It's like one of the only platforms where you can kind of have a thin content post, and you'll never get penalized because it's not just a link source. It's a social platform. So.
Right. Brad like Kellum asked a very good question, just maybe piecing it for everyone else. I'll let you and Jimmy. So the trick here is the reblog that you're getting from Fiverr, and that's what's powering it up, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, and we see a lot better response if we do some DAS to your actual Tumblr first, so you kind of juice it up a little bit.
Guys, you guys are killing me. Wouldn't I run into legal problems just putting image on your? Guys, don't worry about problems you don't have. Just find a picture. Take a picture of yourself holding your dog and put it up there. It doesn't matter what picture's up there. You're missing the point. This is extremely powerful. Jimmy showed this to me right around the same time he showed Derek, and I was just blown away. Guys, you can literally jump. How many pages, Jimmy, with like a brand new site? You can literally jump 10, 15 pages if it's non-existent.
Yeah, I mean the one that I showed Derek with, I mean it was an easy 5-page jump just with this.
Right.
And it's a competitive keyword. It's not it's not like a local keyword or anything.
It's over 200,000 searches a month or something.
Guys, a 200,000 search. Jimmy and Derek just showed you how they can make your site jump up 5 positions by something is idiotic.
It's 5 pages.
Yeah, 5 pages, 50 positions by something as idiotic as just putting a randomized picture on there, putting your money site link on there, and going to Fiverr and ordering those reblogs. Could you move over to that reblog on Fiverr for me, Derek? Guys, if this hasn't freaking blown your mind, Give me a hashtag mind blown once again. Go to Facebook. Before we give it over to Jimmy, I want to see hashtag mind blown. Jimmy is so gracious to show us this. Guys, this is what no one else is seeing anywhere. Go to the Facebook group, type in hashtag mind blown, show Jimmy. He has blown your mind. I want Jimmy to know this. Jimmy is absolutely incredible and generous for even showing this to us. Show him your appreciation. Put hashtag mind blown in there, because Jimmy does this to us consistently. This is a normal day for Jimmy. And by the way, this is one of the tricks that he's kind of just given out. I've like seen some of the other stuff, and literally Jimmy is, I like honestly think he signed a deal with the devil. Literally, with like some of the stuff he could do. How does that make you feel, Jimmy, to see all those hashtag mind blowns?
It's awesome. I mean, keep in mind, this is not the only platform. This is the only one I've shared.
Oh,
Dude,
you've got so
This
many
can
things
be
that's ridiculous.
utilized on so many other platforms using the same exact method.
That is another
But I
question.
always leave room to think.
Right, right. Is people ask, can this be used just with Tumblr or anything else? And you just told people, use your brains. And
it helps within its platforms that have the reblog. So, WordPress.com has a reblog as well.
Great.
And that's DA100.
Great. So, guys, please, I've only seen now 30 people tag hashtag mindblown. We have 400 people on this webinar. You can't show Jimmy your appreciation. He's getting ready to continue. Guys, this is just the first part of what they're going to show you. They're getting ready to show you something else that's even going to blow your mind further. This is enough as it is, and they're going to show you more. And you can't do hashtag mindblown? Come on. So, guys, please continue.
All right, so he's going to post to his 100K followers, so that's what we're looking for, is people with followers. And there's other ones, too. You can look around. But this one I've used over and over. Sorry. And I've gotten great results every time. And literally, I just did this one not even an hour before the webinar started. And we got how many reblogs already? 100 or 104 notes already, okay? So what we need to do is get the actual URLs from here. This is the challenging part for most people. And because when it gets shared, this guy, he's going to reblog it, and then he reblogged it from him. And then it just goes over and over again. They're not reblogging it just from your account, okay? So they're usually reblogging it from the previous person. And what you have here is just a link to their actual subdomain or their account on Tumblr. So what we do is we go to your dashboard. All right, make sure you're in the right account. And then you go over to activity. All right, so it's going to show you 105 new notes. Okay, when you scroll down, all the way down to the bottom, it's going to have display all the links. So it's going to show you the actual URLs of the actual posts. So how do we extract these? That's what we want, right? I use an add-on for, there's Firefox has this. It's called Web Developer. And it's on Moz or Chrome. And I'm sure they have one for Safari. Okay, what we do is when you install that add-on, you go into here. This is the actual add-on. You can actually go in here and view link information, and it's going to give you all the URLs pulled up for you, okay? So you just kind of, I don't want that.
Guys, if this isn't getting your juices flowing, just watching what Derek's doing, I mean, Fletch, what do you think about this so far, Fletch?
This is the kind of thing that we experience in OMG, like, on a regular basis, and I realize I know so little about SEO, and it's so nice to be able to learn from people who do this, who understand it, who know how to put it together, and I just get to make use of it and make money with it. Because there's no way I would ever figure this out on my own. And
No.
I know SEO pretty well, right? I can find, patterns and rank sites and all this other kind. There is no way I would ever figure this out on my own.
No, never. What do you think, Joe? I want to know what you think because you're about the same boat I'm. Is your mind blown?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it's it's always blown every time I watch a webinar with Jimmy in it, and Derek.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really what Fletch says is, I know SEO, I can rank stuff, but this is like, this is the inside stuff that nobody knows, that other people in the SEO business don't know. And when people are going out to get clients, they have to know that if you're an OMG and you're talking to a potential client, you know more than anyone else in the room or anyone else that person has probably talked to about SEO or ranking a local site, because I mean you have the best of the best here. It's awesome.
I want to hear from one of the best SEOs in the world. Greg, what do you think about Jimmy's creativity and how he comes up with this stuff?
I mean, I'm used to it because I see it every day, but I mean, it's unreal, obviously. And, I think there's like a lot of beginners that are wondering, but they just wonder like, but how does this? Like they wonder too much about the how. Just follow the process and watch it work. You know what I mean? Like too many beginners when they're shown something like this, they think too far into it. Like, okay, well, how is this working and why? And just do it and know that it's going to work. And just follow the steps and know it's going to work. And that's the best advice I can give you.
Great. All right. All right. Sorry I interrupted you. If you can explain what you've done, please go ahead.
All right. So I extracted all the URLs with the web developer plugin, and then I come over into a spreadsheet, and what I'm going to do now is filter just the ones we have with Qgx. Okay. I don't need this one. Oh, what happened? All right, so now we just have, these are actual individual URLs. And what you notice is on each one of these is going to be a picture, or this is an actual post. So this is a do follow link to here, and then a do follow link back to, I put to the root of what I was trying to rank. And this one's going to link to the other person's account where you shared it from. And it also links back to my actual Tumblr post. So it's going to juice up all of those spots, okay?
Wow.
Wait, what's this called again? I don't remember.
What's what called?
oh, you mean it's called an RSS feed?
Oh, what's this? Yeah. Each post.
No, I meant domain authority.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What you're doing is domain authority stacking, and you're also, it's all within the same platform, so it's all DA98 links coming from there. Okay, and then each one of those actually has their own individual RSS feed. So I don't know if anyone knows anything about RSS feeds or any cool tools we can use to help boost this up with.
Yeah, what would we do to boost that up, Jimmy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I literally don't know any tools. Stu, do you know any tools that we could possibly use?
Maybe admin
RSS
sites.
feeds?
So what I do is combine these.
I'm sure we could come up with something.
We do have that beta version that's out.
That's
you could throw it in Social Explosion.
Maybe. Oh. So what I'm doing is just kind of, I'm sure there's experts and there's probably, they know how to do this stuff better than me, but I just do.
Derek, you're being a little modest. I don't think any of us knows how to do this.
Well, I'm not a spreadsheet. I'm sure there's a way to merge those two together on there, but I have to use a notepad. Okay, so maybe
there's a site called Word Combine, and you could put in like /RSS on the end and then paste the URLs on the left and hit combine.
Yeah,
and it'll put them all together.
Yeah,
So
all,
that's
all,
text
all
mechanic.
he did there for anyone that got lost is he replaced all the spaces with no space, so that there's no space in the URL. He just did that with Notepad.
Yeah, and I think text mechanic is the one that we use, right? I think.
Yeah, I think that is a text mechanic one. Might not be. You just do a search for like combined words, and I think it pops
Yeah.
up. This is one I usually go
Yeah,
to.
merge words.
Merge words. That's what it was.
So yeah, you can do it in here too.
So, Derek, if you could go back from the very beginning, because I have been trying to act like I'm new and paying attention, and I was talking, interrupted you. You can explain what you did and go through it one more time so everyone understands just what you did and how you got those URLs. Just very, very quickly.
Right. Just make sure there's no space in here. So this will give you the same result. So this is probably the easiest way for most people to do it. Do you want to do a tutorial of this again? So you go into your Tumblr account. So this is the activity, and you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. So there's no more links. You're going to use the web developer add-on. You're going to scroll down in here. There's going to be a link information in here. And you can use this a lot of other places, so this is quite a cool tool to have. Scroll down. Copy all those. Paste that in there. Highlight it. And then you're going to filter it all out. Make sure this is contains. Okay, now we just have the ones we want.
Now, why did we do that? Just because I know that there's going to be people out there.
Why does it keep doing that? Well, we want to have the actual individual URLs of the posts of the reblogs.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the ones that contain our links, because otherwise we can send juice to their actual accounts, but with Tumblr, it's such a fast-moving platform that these things roll off the page one almost immediately, because a lot of these guys are just reblogging all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can go in here, copy that, and go to merge words. Put that in there. You're going to do /RSS. Select the extra options. Make sure there's no space. Okay. And then merge it. And then we have a boatload of different RSS feeds.
Mm-hmm.
This one has two. And then Jimmy, you want me just to hand some of these over to you, and you can.
Now, Derek, if you could do me a favor, why is for those of people that are new or no one that's messed with RSS feeds before, why is RSS feed so important?
Well, I think Jimmy would probably know the best about RSS feeds, or Sue. Why is RSS so cool? Sue? Jimmy?
Jimmy, are you there? Oh, I get to answer that one.
So, yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
So,
Talking for 10 minutes with mute on.
So RSS feeds are cool because you can do lots of things with them. So an RSS feed is just a file with a set of links in it. And so you can take that file and you can push it through all kinds of places. There are RSS search facilities, there are RSS directories, and every place that you can put an RSS feed will give you a backlink.
Exactly.
From a very high domain authority site, more than likely.
They vary, but a lot of them are 40 and above, yes.
Right. Great. Okay.
And FeedBurner is also a great place to stick your RSS feed, and that's got Since it's owned by Google, that's going to have 100.
Oh, wow. Great. All right, Derek, please continue, or if you want to pass it over to Jimmy, or...
Yeah, so Jimmy, you want to show what we can do with that, or?
Yeah.
You want me to make you the presenter, Jimmy?
Is it
Yeah.
posting in your Skype?
Hold on a sec. I'm rotating some stuff here.
Sure.
Talk amongst yourselves for just 1 minute.
You know what? We've like added Mike Hayden on here. Mike, what do you think about this? Has this blown your mind?
Nope.
It would have if I hadn't already seen it.
But the first
But
time,
I remember,
but the first time,
when I first saw it.
yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, whoa. And yeah, so I've been implementing it, and it is as advertised.
Super powerful stuff, man. What time is it in Australia right now?
Well, we have several time zones, but where it is time here is 8:54 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So it's tomorrow.
You woke up very early for this one then, didn't you?
I actually had a session with Fletch even before this, so, and he and I were recording some stuff for Director's Cut, so very early.
Good deal.
Okay, I think I can take it over now.
All right, let me make you the presenter, and you should have it. I'll let you know when I can see your screen.
Okay. So, I'd like to introduce you guys to a few kind of cool things. So, let me walk you through kind of an overview of what we've done so far, just to help you guys understand what's going on with the link juice. So, you're taking a money site, you're going to put a picture or a video on there. Okay, you're going to take that. Hopefully, you've thought about, this possibly being a viral type platform, and you're going to put that same picture on your Tumblr. And then you're going to do the items that Derek went over. So you're going to put the picture video on there, you're going to include the tags, and you want to include a global tag. So now, from there, we went to Fiverr and we ordered reblogs. And then he just showed you how to go and grab all of the individual post URLs for the reblogs that you get from this specific account. So what happens with the link juice in here is you're going to get the initial link back to your money page. You're going to get additional links from the reblogs back to this Tumblr post, but they're also going to link back over to the money page as well, if that makes sense there. So you can see that these reblogs are really going to be kind of a hub center for powering both the money and your original Tumblr post. Now remember what we put in here, we put in the tag, so that's going to make these all the more relevant as they reblog your original post. So from here, we're going to introduce you guys to a new plugin that Network Empire came out with. It's called the One Feed Supercharger. And we're going to show you what you could do with these feeds next. So what you can do, so you could just click and add new. You go in and install the plugin. We'll show you guys where to get this in a minute. And, what was this called? Like Cutest Puppies or something. I guess I should make it capitalized. I am on air, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, just making sure. So, Sue, you want to talk about a few of these features here before I show them the rest of the feed here? Can you talk to us a little bit about
those features? Sure. Those features are for setting up the feed for the information that's coming from your blog. So every time you post a post on your blog, you can include that information in this feed that you're creating. So what this is going to do, I was always frustrated with blogs because they create a feed, but they only create one feed for the entire blog, and so you're limited. You've either got the entire blog post in your feed, or you've got an excerpt, and if you've only got the excerpt, then you don't have the images, and yada yada. So I wanted to be able to create more feeds to be able to see more creative things with those feeds. So this functionality gives you the opportunity to be able to include your blog, and then in the block underneath it, you can include other feeds from other places. So if you don't blog very often, you can include maybe an industry authority that blogs more frequently, and you bundle all that up and then you put it into a feed directory or into a feed search engine, and they're probably going to be more liable to pick it up because it's got good fresh content, and yet your stuff will also be included in it. So if you have if you set this for posts to include 5, and then from an external feed you also include 5, you'll always have 5 of your blog posts in that feed. So if you go to something like Yahoo Pipes and you create a feed, you braid the feeds over there, the thing I don't like about that is if somebody's blogging prolifically and you combine your feed with their stuff, the feed that you create will soon just have their content and won't have yours. So this setup ensures that your stuff stays in the feed that you're creating.
Now, what feature did you include for people that might be avid bloggers or blogging quite often?
Well, I mean, it's the same sorts of features. You can set the number of posts that you want to include over on the left-hand side. So by default, in WordPress you have 10, but here you can set anything from 1 to 100. You can set it so that your post contains either the summary or the full content, and if it creates summary, it's still going to put your images in it, because that's one of those things that makes feeds really consumable and clickable. And so also you can randomly include old posts. So what this will do is help to revitalize some of your older posts. Under settings, you can give it the beginning and end date, so it doesn't have to draw all the way back from time immemorial, right? So like my theme Zoom blog's been around since, oh heavens, longer than I care to admit. So a lot of that stuff is obsolete, and I might only want to reblog stuff from, say, the last 6 months or the last year. So I can include that here, and I can specify how many of those posts I want to have so that it doesn't inundate with the fresh content. So I could have maybe 5 posts that are current and 1 post that is older, or I could create a feed of just all older posts. I could have just 1 post that's current and like 10 or 20 posts that are older, and I can put them through other places where it'll revitalize, it'll get inbound links. We've got other plugins like Social Explosion that'll get inbound links to some of those older posts. So that helps to breathe life into some of those, some of the other posts on your blog, which helps to create your domain authority, right? So that the more posts that you have, the more inbound links that you have to more varied pages on your site, the better your domain authority is overall.
So, and tell us about this feature.
Sticky posts. So this is great for PBNs, because let's say that you have a post with the link that goes to your money site, and you want to make sure that that post is always included no matter what. So then you click that post, and you'll be sure that it never rolls off of your feed, no matter how old it gets. And it's also good if you've got some kind of a flagship entry in your money site blog. So let's say that you write this really great blog post that perfectly describes your product, and you go on after that to write other blog posts that are more newsy, but no matter where your feed goes, you want that one blog post to always show up so that people have the opportunity to learn about your product. So you can include that post.
Excellent. So you're saying that this will help keep juice on specific posts that you want to make sure don't roll off like how it normally does as new content's added to the blog with the feed.
Exactly. So let's say that you take your feed and you put it out there and it goes viral, and 100 different people pick it up and they put it on their blog so that they've got new fresh content rolling through their blog, which is frequently done that way. They don't have to write it new content in order for fresh content to show up on their blog. So if you have a feed, especially we have a lot of auto blogs, right? And so those blog feeds roll over all the time whenever you've got, normally by default in your feed you've got the 10 most recent blog posts, right? So if you have a feed that you want to keep link juice, or a particular post that you want to keep link juice to, you can make it sticky. Or if you have one that you want to make sure shows up no matter where it goes, let's say it's got the affiliate product blog post, or as I said, your flagship product post, then you can make sure that that sticks, so that that's always there. It's always getting link juice from all those people who have picked your blog up and re-syndicated it.
Sue, we
Cool.
have a
So
question
now,
for you and Jimmy. They want to know if this can be pages or if this is just posts.
Right now, this is just posts. I was supposed to have the pages update out already. Shoot me. I'm hoping to have it out by the early part of next week. So if you grab this now, it'll update.
Thank you.
You can put pages into a feed though still, right? So
You
like
can.
manually. Yeah. Okay.
You can.
so now I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through the rest of the steps that we're using on this, and then I'll show you where you can get this and the other thing we're going to show as well. So right here, you can use this to filter out the specific keywords of the external posts that you're including into it. So like if you're going and grabbing specific authority posts, and let's just say your site's about cats and this specific one seems to be about dogs, but you want to mix the two, you could do like cutest cats here. So the other external feeds that are not part of your site will be filtered for this specific keyword. So that way you can completely theme the whole feed to be for a specific niche or a specific keyword or something that you're really trying to go after. So from here, we're going to go back over to this stuff that Derek sent me. I'm going to try and grab these without shutting down the webinar here. Just bear with me a second.
Yeah. Sure. Guys, any questions? I don't see any questions in the chat box. It's been pretty quiet. Give me a 1 if you're excited about what you're seeing so far, guys. This is some pretty mind-blowing stuff, and it's even going to even get better when they explain it even further. A lot of 1s. I'm like seeing dozens and dozens, maybe even hundreds of 1s on there. I'm sure you guys can see that. Jimmy, whenever you're ready.
So, and this will work. I mean, you can put your YouTube feed in here. You can put basically anything that you can find an RSS for, you can put through this thing to mix the feed together. And one thing I wanted to show you guys too, in addition, just for fun, since you guys are staying on this, is if you go and you get a Delicious account, you can grab a feed from this as well. So in here, you just go create a feed. You sign up for an account with delicious.com, and let's just say you wanted to throw in some extra juice to some other properties you made. So let's just go do a search for something about dogs, just so it's relevant to what we're doing. Let's say site : Weebly.com, cutest puppies or some, whoops, bad spelling. Cutest puppies or something like that. So here's one that popped up. And let's just say that this was one of my other backlink pages that I was promoting. So I could take this URL of this Weebly, and you could throw it in right here. So you can just paste that right in, and you hit add link, and you can name it whatever you want. You just say like whatever, right? Puppies Heaven. Save link. Okay. So now we have this. So all your bookmarks are going to go in here, and you could go and bookmark other stuff. I recommend not mixing client stuff together, and make sure you're not creating a link wheel with the pages you're selecting for your bookmarks. So you could copy this, and then just to show you how to get the feed, we're just going to paste this into the browser, and this is the Delicious, just your username Delicious that we copied out. And just behind the Delicious, you're going to put v2, whoops, let me see, I think it's like this. Now let's see where the v2 goes. Nope, that was the wrong one. Hold on a sec. I wrote this down earlier. It goes in front. Okay. All right. So let's back it up. So you put it right before your username. You're going to do v2 and a backslash and RSS and put another slash. And then you can go to it. So now this is an RSS feed of the specific bookmark that we did for whatever this was. Okay, so now we could take this, and this is an RSS feed too. So we can come back and we could throw this one into our plugin. So we can add this one. And the list goes on and on. I mean, anywhere you can grab like an RSS feed, you can work with this. So then you're just going to go to Publish. And I'm going to run over here and look at all my feeds. And you can see up here, we've created that new feed right here. So we're just going to go and grab the RSS. And you can see how this outputs. I don't remember if the Tumblr ones turned out pretty or not, but now you can see we have all of these different posts in here. So these are all the posts that are going to, back to our diagram, all those individual posts that we just created a feed for, we just made one feed out of all the reblogs and that delicious bookmark that we had. Okay? So we can then take that feed and let me straggle back. We can then take that feed that we created and we can go to Social Explosion. The Social Explosion, we can take that feed and paste it right in. We select our settings for however many Twitter, Pinterest, Digo, and Delicious backlinks we want. You can set how often and how many social signals you want to get, and you hit Save Changes. That will immediately put this into the server, and all those links within that feed will start getting all these social signals. Okay, so let's go back to the diagram here. So we made a detour out of this. So go back to bubble shapes, and we have combine the feeds. Okay. I'm trying to make this as I know my diagrams can be confusing, so hopefully you guys are following along. And then all of these, once we've combined the feeds, we're going to then input it into Social Explosion. Okay, so now Social Explosion is going to send social signals to each of these reblog accounts. Okay, so you're going to get, like, whatever your settings are, you're going to get Twitter tweets to it, you get Pinterest pins, because this one did have an image, so it's going to pull a picture out of that and be able to do Pinterest with it. You're going to get additional bookmarks, I think it's Digo and Delicious again, back to this page, and so basically you have an automated little DAS stack that you can do in probably, how long would you say this would take, Derek? Like maybe 10 minutes to roll out?
Yeah, I did that one in 10 minutes. So.
Well, guys, if your mind's just not blown right now, just type in a 5 if your mind's blown, and if this is not some of the most powerful stuff you've seen in a while. And this is amazing stuff right here that they're showing you. And a lot of people said that it's a little confusing, but guys, that's why we're going to have a replay. And that replay is going to be in Project Breakthrough or Director's Cut. So I would either take notes, but Jimmy's been very gracious to show it. Sue's been very gracious to even show what they're getting ready to show right now. But this is powerful stuff. Jimmy, you see all the 5s in there, don't you? Just a sea of 5s.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So hopefully this makes sense. I know it's kind of, we hit some turns here and there that are a little confusing, but just, when you get the replay of this in OMG, just walk through the steps as what Derek laid out, and then just follow us behind with how we work the one feed supercharger and the Social Explosion. And basically, this is a domain authority stack, and this does move your site like no other. So I encourage you all to, we'd like to introduce you to the new plugin. Let's see. Where are we going for this, Sue?
You know, we got a special for everybody on the webinar tonight.
Oh, really?
Even you guys that are not in Director's Cut.
Wow.
Well,
amazing.
that is very gracious of you.
So, if you go to onefeedsupercharger.com,
Let me make sure I grab the right URL here.
that would be good.
And Sue, this
Okay.
is the first time this is going to be available to anyone right now, correct?
It is.
That's correct.
We did a super soft launch over the weekend to members, but this is the first time that we've announced it on a webinar.
Very gracious.
So, you know, I'm pretty sure that there's a way that we can get all 142 of those feeds into one feed, like really quick and easy, but I haven't been able to find it right this second. I've got a couple up on my screen, but I want to actually try it. So we'll stick a little update video into Director's Cut for you guys, or wherever this replay is going to be, that will show you how to make that a little bit easier. So now if you scroll down to the bottom of that page, Jimmy, you'll see that there's a place where you can enter a coupon code.
Oh, okay.
And let me just pull it up so that I make sure that I give you guys the right one. Can I throw this to you in Skype, Jimmy?
Yeah, that's fine.
Put it up on the screen so that everybody sees it.
Guys, and I want to make very, very clear to you, you're absolutely insane not to use this. I know Greg's been using it. I like know if you get Fletch come on, he's going to be using it. I'm going to be using it. We're all going to be using it. This is something that needs to be an essential part of all your SEO that you're doing right now. I just don't think if you take
I abuse it.
Right. Like if you don't take advantage of stuff like this, that's where you get left behind, and you're in these other people's webinars that claim to know what they're doing that is not an OMG. We won't name any names, but this is the real stuff right here. This is what gets stuff ranked. I know it might be a little confusing for you, for those of you that are just starting or not this, but this is what is going to just turbocharge your rankings, your site, everything. I can't encourage you enough to try to pick this up. And there's no guarantee that that Sue and Jimmy is going to continue to sell it for who knows how long. It's just open for right now. It's just open to OMG members. So I'll let Jimmy take over and show you how you can take advantage of it.
So this coupon code is only going to be available for Director's Cuts members after tonight. So because you guys outside of Director's Cut are on this webby tonight, you got to take advantage of the discount, and you can get this plugin for $18.
Hold
18
on.
bucks.
Hold on. How much, Sue?
Which people have told me I'm insane. $18.
Sue, are you serious? Now
know.
you had never told me the price before. For $18, that's it.
Special directory cut. Oh, sorry, $19.
Wow.
Yeah. So just for you guys tonight, and for Director's Cuts, guys, from here on out. Russell told me I was crazy, but I told him he couldn't come on the webinar.
Guys, guys, do me a favor. If you're going to get this, and if you're happy, and if your mind's not blown by what you've seen, but the fact that Sue and Jimmy and Russell are letting this go for $18, go to the Facebook group and tack in #sold if you're going to pick this up, and if you're happy about it. #sold. Show Sue your appreciation. This is a plugin that's easily $200. Easily. I would pay $500 for it. I mean, it is amazing. For $18 is almost giving it away.
And hey, I just want to say that's an insane value, because I picked up this plugin a couple of days ago, and I was using PixelPipe and all this other stuff, and this one feed supercharger, I mean, for $18, I mean, that's like you go out to lunch, for that. That's nothing for what this can do. And if you want to apply any of this DAS stacking, I mean, you need this plugin. It made my life so much easier once they put it out.
Fletch, let me ask you a question. Do you think Sue needs medical attention, or is this not the best deal ever?
I'm sure I asked her if she had some kind of alcoholic beverage before the webinar.
Yeah, we were
discussing
discussing.
do this on.
Right.
because this is nuts. I along with Joe, I picked this up a couple days ago. I actually paid more for it than this special deal is.
Yeah, me too. What's up with that, Sue?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like everybody on here is going to get a
You
better
guys
deal
just
than
have
Greg
to
and
wait
Joe
for
and
the
I.
coupon.
What's going on? Well, that's the thing. We don't want to wait, because it's one of those things. I've got a guy in house, and I just said, this is all you're going to do. You're going to go back and learn to use this and employ this on all my network, on all my money sites, and it's one of those things that, just like Joe said, it's a decent lunch out, and it Supercharger is a perfect name for it.
How sick would this be with vSilo?
Well, I tend to have a lot of vSilo sites because I create prolifically. So yeah, I'm super excited to get this in. Well, it's rolling out right now, so we're going to see some results, especially with what we learned tonight about the Tumblr reblogs and stuff like that. It's going to be crazy. So excited for it.
Absolutely, guys. When you put that Tumblr with like this, it's just amazing. And you're also hearing Greg's using it, Fletch is using it, Joe's using it, I'm using it. Obviously, Jimmy and Sue helped create it. Derek's using it. If you need any other excuse from some of the top people that you're learning from, that we all are using it and applying it. And if you don't pick it up, I don't want to hear any excuses, because the first question I'm going to ask you, if I get any question that my site's not moving, I'm going to say, did you buy the One Feed Supercharger, and have you watched this replay webinar? And if you say no, I'm just not even going to answer your question. I mean, this is an essential part of everything that you need to be doing. So I encourage you.
And by the way, I mean, there's even simpler ways to use it. You can go to your site, put each page into a feed on your site, and throw that all into the One Feed Supercharger and throw that into Social Explosion. Then you got all these social signals going to the pages on your site. So, I know a lot of people are worried about, right now it doesn't, Social Explosion doesn't work for existing posts or pages on my site. Well, guess what? Go through all the pages on your site into a feed, put them all into the One Feed Supercharger, and then that's going directly to your site. So that's just a simple way to use it right there.
Yeah, we just showed you how to use you could use Delicious and go bookmark the pages you specifically want if it's one you truly need.
Right.
Guys, once again, it's www.onefeedsupercharger.com. The coupon code is right up on your screen right now. I know that there's a couple people saying that we might have shut your server down, that there's so many people trying to grab it, which I'm glad we've got some smart OMGers. Guys, let's shut that server down that so many people are up there. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. At least we know we have some smart OMGers. But guys, it's for the webinar only. Sue, this coupon code is good for how long? 24 hours?
This coupon code is good for tonight. Yeah, 24 hours. And then it'll be available inside Director's Cut indefinitely.
And without this coupon code, what would someone be paying?
It's $28.
There you go. So guys, take advantage of it right now. You guys have any questions for Sue or Jimmy about this before they go? They've graciously been on here, given their free time. Jimmy's dropped some incredible knowledge. Fletch has been on. Greg has been on. Anyone have any questions? And Jimmy, if you want to pull any out that you can see, you're more than welcome to answer them. It said, is there going to be any training videos on Director's Cut and how to show up, how to set it up appropriately?
Yep, there's actually some videos on the landing page when you get the download link. And we'll be talking about it more, definitely, in our next webinars.
Guys, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to open this up for everyone. Not to leave all OMGers behind, but we want all of you to come forward with us. We're all a family. But seriously, Director's Cut is literally $199 a month for an 11 pay. You are going to get you've just got a taste of what Jimmy, Sue, and Russell can do. Myself, Joe, Travis Sago's coming in there, Greg's throwing stuff in there. This is what it's all about. This is what you're going to get week in and week out. You've seen all the office hours assimilation with Mind Blown. Every weekend we're coming with new stuff. Next week we're having another mind-blowing webinar. It's going to continue on week after week. I don't want you to be left out of this, literally. And they're going to be coming up with more videos. I guarantee you that there's going to be some people want to sign up and know how to better set this up. And you're going to get access to Jimmy, Sue, and Russell and ask them these questions in these webinars. So what I'm saying is you're going to get one-on-one coaching with Sue and with Jimmy and Russell, myself and Joe for the next 4 months. For the next 4 months, along with all the content that they put in. And as you can see today, with the webinar that we've given away to everyone that isn't in Breakthrough with that, this information that Jimmy just gave away, along with Jimmy and Sue releasing the 1-feet supercharger, is absolutely mind-blowing. This is the most mind-blowing thing that I've seen probably since I've joined OMG, about how this can absolutely take a site and just do everything you need to do for it. So take advantage of it. Jimmy, do you have any other parting things that you'd like to say, or Sue?
I would like to point out, I notice a lot of people are having a problem downloading it. Sue, is there a link, or should we send them to the help desk for sorting out the downloads, or what do you think's best in this situation? Kevin's going to kill me too, by the way.
Jimmy, do you think it'll clear up once everyone gets patient to download it over the next couple hours?
I don't know. What do you think, Sue?
Yes, it will. I was muted. I'm sorry. Yeah, it will. So everybody will get an email as soon as the server sorts itself out. But let me give you the link to the help desk, just in case you have any problems, if it hasn't gotten back to you in, I don't know, an hour or so, or whatever seems reasonable.
Sure.
Where are you, Mr. Kelly?
So,
there you are.
So guys, just be a little patient.
Russ and Kevin are absolutely going to kill me.
There's a lot of people trying to get
Kevin runs the help desk.
Right. But guys, this has been another fantastic webinar. I'm honored to have Fletch and Greg on, along with Joe, Mike Hayden, myself, Derek, and Sue and Jimmy. Once again, you guys, and especially Derek, you guys have brought the house down once again. Guys, show them your thanks in the Facebook thread. Let them see it. Go over there and just thank Sue and Jimmy personally in that Facebook thread. They didn't have to do this. They didn't have to give this away to anyone, especially at the price they did. And they consistently, without them, I'd be lost on half the stuff. I mean, Jimmy and Greg, and just some of the things that they're doing that I even hear the whispers about is going to be pretty freaking scary coming up. And that stuff's going to be in Director's Cut or in Project Breakthrough. Don't be left out on stuff like this. These guys are literally the cutting edge of SEO. And I just can't say enough great things about them. Fletch, you got any parting words, my friend?
No, I'm just so happy to be a part of everything happening. Yeah, what gets shared on these webinars is mind-blowing. It's totally transformed my life. I love getting to help teach it now. Happy to be a part of what we have going on in 2015 with the collaboration between Network Empire and OMG, with how Director's Cuts come about. Yeah, just I thank you for inviting me. This has been great.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to have you. Greg, you got any parting words, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the thing about Director's Cut.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know anyone who's not in there if you just don't understand what's in there. I mean, I honestly have learned so much myself from going through it, and I talk to you guys all the time. I keep in touch with you guys with SEO, and I'll watch webinars and pick up things that I didn't even know about. So I mean, the level of stuff that is in Director's Cut and Project Breakthrough is just absolutely crazy. I mean, even for someone like me, I've never had trouble ranking stuff. Now it's just holy crap, the amount of stuff that's in there is just unreal. There's no words for it. And all this RSS stuff, this is going to continue. Network Empire is really going to school everyone on how this works, and we're going to keep building it up, and they're going to talk more and more about that as time goes on. So.
Sure. Absolutely. And you know what? I want to go ahead and show everybody once again before, and then I'm going to let Joe say some parting words. Guys, this is it once again. If you're not in Director's Cut right now, if you're an existing OMG member, and if you want to join, we're going to probably close this down in the next couple of weeks. I don't know how long Mike and David and Greg are going to leave it up, but it's www.omg join forces. You can see my link. You can go down here and you can scroll down. Talks about all the features, but you can either do a one pay for $1.99, And it's, guys, this is the absolute no-brainer right here. 11 payments of $199 to get all of this information. There is no SEO program out there where you're going to get access to Sue, Russell, and Jimmy. Some of the stuff that Joe's doing is just crazy. I talked to Joe for a couple hours last week. Joe, how many hours of stuff do you have not yet in Director's Cut?
Oh man, I got a lot of stuff that's not even in there yet.
How many videos you think?
I mean, there's some stuff.
Well over 20?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's stuff we're talking about doing. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much stuff. And dude, the thing with Director's Cut, and I'm gonna be completely honest with everybody. I'm not great at SEO. Like I rank stuff. I can get stuff ranked, and I'll get clients and I rank them. But I take what Jimmy and Sue and Greg and Russell, what all those guys put out there, and that's how I rank my stuff. And it's like, if you're in this business, I mean, the stuff that in Director's Cut is just, it's essential, in my opinion.
Sure. And some of the things that I got lined up is Stephen Floyd and I are going to be doing about 15 hours from start to finish on online reputation management. Everything that you need to know how I make $75,000 a month off online reputation management, how to pull leads, get the clients, how to handle it, and how to fulfill the client all the way through to the end. And once again, use that snowball method to keep pulling in more people. That's going to be a big bomb drop that's going to be in Director's Cut also, is all of that as well. We have some tactics that I've never seen ever talked about before in how to pull clients from this sort of stuff. Literally, when I show you
people who do, sorry, for those of you who don't know who Stephen Floyd is, he is a beast. I'll tell you that. Him and Cotton are going to kill it. Sorry, Cotton.
Sure. Stephen and I have a way to pull in clients with online reputation management that is literally, I mean, if it doesn't make you pass out, I don't know what will. I mean, it is like plucking candy from a baby, getting these clients. And I've almost shifted over about 40% of my business over to online reputation management for SEO, because I charge, and the pricing is essential on this also, I charge 4 times more than I do SEO, and I'm going to go over why of that in Director's Cut, and why it's just so powerful right now, and why I think it's going to be one of the hottest things of 2015. So we even have a website up. I already sent Mike Hayden over a copy of a website for online reputation management that I've been working on for months, and I'm very, very, very proud of it. We're going to be revealing that in the next few months as well. Hopefully, if Mike hasn't taken a big breath from where he's at, he might decide to be generous and offer that out again as a skin. Who knows? I have no idea. I haven't even talked to him about it. I just wanted to show it to him. So with all that stuff going on, it's just crazy not to be involved. Jimmy, any last words from you and Sue before we sign off?
No, just thanks to everyone here. I appreciate everybody's time, and I appreciate Derek helping with the walkthrough, and of course, Greg for being such a great mentor, and of course you, Cotton, for putting this on. And I've learned a ton from you also about client getting. It's that's definitely one of my weak spots.
Thanks. That means a lot. And I almost forgot just naming through everyone, but Derek has been such an amazing part of Director's Cut also. I've kind of made him my partner in all the office hours of simulation webinars, and he's been absolutely amazing. He's been on every webinar so far, and hopefully he'll continue to come on. But Derek is just also one of the most up and coming rising SEO superstars out there. He just blows me away every time I talk to him. And I know that you and Derek talk a lot, Jimmy, and you've even commented to me that he reminds you of him when you were a little younger, and just how he's kind of continuing to get better and better every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Derek, I'll let you have the last word, my friend, and then we're going to sign off.
I was just going to say that if there's a lot of questions still about the Tumblr thing, so I was just going to put together a little document that we can just put in the members area of kind of the guidelines, because people are asking a lot about using money words and what you can use it for, and how to do something as viral that's maybe not so popular, you know.
I have a better idea, Derek. What do you say that you
Yeah.
and I just shoot a module on it and have it in there in the next week in Director's Cut?
Sure. Yeah,
Sure.
because I mean, not everything's easy to make sexy, so it's
Right, guys. So there you go. Derek and I will shoot a module and redo it. You can rewatch this webinar in Director's Cut or Breakthrough, or Derek and I is going to do a module, and you'll have some greater depth in there where we can take it, slow it down, and really go over it a little bit more. But let's thank Jimmy. Please thank Jimmy and Sue for like what they've done, and thank Derek for showing it also. Jimmy once again has just given away one of his nuclear bombs. And what's crazy enough is that's one of about 100 things that Jimmy's got, and he just graciously just gave one of them away. By no means is that anything that he's got way
I
more.
don't think I could teach my advanced stuff.
No, not at all. But absolutely, guys, I'm signing off live from Las Vegas. Mike and I will be at it again tonight. If you're around the Las Vegas area and you're around, hit me up on there, and Mike and I would love to say hello to you. But this is Office Simulation Hour signing off live from Las Vegas. I'll see you again next week, and we'll have that link posted for the webinar next week sometime over the weekend. So take care, guys, and thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Later, Con. Later.